Hello, welcome to the Southern Bible Thumper channel. In this upload, we will be reading 1 Kings 21. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard, which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab king of Samaria. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it. Or if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. And Naboth said to Ahab, The Lord forbid it me, that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee. And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased, because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed, and turned away his face, and would eat no bread. But Jezebel his wife came to him, and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad, that thou eatest no bread? And he said unto her, Because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, Give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, Dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name, and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in his city, dwelling with Naboth. And she wrote in the letters, saying, Proclaim a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people, and set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him, to bear witness against him, saying, Thou didst blaspheme God and the king. And then carry him out and stone him that he may die. And the men of his city, even the elders and the nobles who were the inhabitants in his city, did as Jezebel had sent unto them, and as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them. They proclaimed a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people. And there came in 2 men, children of Belial, and sat before him. And the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme God and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city, and stoned him with stones that he died. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said to Ahab, Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money. For Naboth is not alive, but dead. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite to take possession of it. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, Arise, go down to meet Ahab king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, whither he is gone down to possess it. And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Hast thou killed, and also taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, In the place where dogs lick the blood of Naboth, shall dogs lick thy blood, even thine. And Ahab said to Elijah, Hast thou found me, O mine enemy? And he answered, I have found thee, because thou hast sold thyself to work evil in the sight of the Lord. Behold, I will bring evil upon thee, and will take away thy posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel, and will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha the son of Ahijah, for the provocation wherewith thou hast provoked me to anger, and made Israel to sin. And of Jezebel also spake the Lord, saying, The dogs shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. Him that dieth of Ahab in this city the dogs shall eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat. But there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up. And he did very abominably in following idols, according to all things as did the Amorites, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard those words, that he rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his flesh, and fasted, and lay in sackcloth, and went softly. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying, Seest thou how Ahab humbleth himself before me? Because he humbleth himself before me, I will not bring the evil in his days, but in his son's days will I bring the evil upon his house. 1 Kings chapter 20. King Benhadad of Syria tells Ahab he wants Israel's valuables, women, and children. King Ahab agrees until the men of his kingdom tells him to resist. This leads to war, and God sends a prophet to tell Ahab he will be victorious, proving he is Lord. Ahab in Israel is victorious. King Benhadad attacks again, and Israel is slaughtering the Syrians. Benhadad and his men concede, making a compromise with King Ahab. A prophet tells Ahab that his life and the life of his people will be taken because he did not destroy a man destined for destruction. 1 Kings 21. Ahab wants a vineyard that is close to his home and owned by Naboth. Naboth refuses every offer because this is his family inheritance. King Ahab is saddened and tells Jezebel what happened. Jezebel organizes a trial where Naboth is found guilty of being stoned to death. Once he takes over the vineyard, Elijah delivers a prophecy of his doom. King Ahab humbles himself, and God changes his mind, deciding to bring destruction onto Ahab's lineage during his son's lifetime. I am very excited to be reading this chapter because my entire life we have read Jezebel is a seductress, and that Jezebel spirit, you're trying to seduce somebody with that short dress. As we've been learning, Jezebel is not a seductress at all. She's just a vicious, manipulative, cold hearted woman. Her father was king, and Ahab is soft. In the previous chapter, we saw the king of Samaria pressed him and said, "Hey, give me your women, your children, and your valuables." And Ahab responds, "Great, you whatever I have, you can have it." It wasn't until the elders convinced him not to give their stuff to these men that not Benhadad, Ahab even puts up a fight. So Jezebel is married to this man who will just give his things away. I just want to mention again with Adam and Eve, all information dictated through that man. Then he don't follow the information that he give the woman. See how Jezebel's been dictated through man? And then when you go behind him and read it, she wasn't a seductress. She was actually just a cunning woman married to a weak-willed, spineless man. That's all. She didn't use her body. She used her mind. And we're going to look at it here. So verse 1 through 3, King Ahab tells a man, Naboth, that he wants his vineyard because it's close to his home. King Ahab tells the man that he will pay him or he'll give him another one. Naboth says it's his inheritance and he doesn't want to give it away. So, verses 4 through 6, Ahab is pouting and he won't eat because he's mad he doesn't have the vineyard that he wanted. So his wife Jezebel in verse 5 asks, "Why are you sad? Why won't you eat?" King Ahab tells Jezebel about what happened, that he tried to get the vineyard and he won't give it to him. So Jezebel said, "You're king. Get up and eat. I'll get it for you." So Jezebel in verse 8 wrote letters and uses plagiarism. So this is not a seduction. This is a plan, a cunning plan to get rid of someone for her husband. Honestly, that sounds more like loyalty than seduction and using a cheap, not that seduction is cheap, but using logic, not using her sexuality, using plans, not sexuality. She wrote letters in Ahab's name and her husband's name and used his seal. And The plan is to tell these elders, get some, get a day, proclaim a day of fasting. Not quite sure because I thought they were worshipers of Baal, so I don't understand that. But what this plan is, arrange for two wicked men to accuse Naboth of blaspheming God, so he'll be stoned to death. So, verse 11, the men did as she asked. They proclaimed a fast, seated Naboth in a prominent place. What does this fast mean? Well, so the elders, carry out this plan. The two scoundrels sit up beside him and they accuse him in front of everyone of cursing God and the king. So they took him outside and stoned him to death. And then they sent word to Jezebel that the man was dead. So when Jezebel hears about it, in verse 15, she tells him that Naboth is dead. Go ahead and take the vineyard that you wanted. So Ahab hears about this in verse 16 and goes to take possession of the vineyard. In verse 17, the word of the Lord came to Elijah, saying that his blood will be licked by the dogs. So Elijah tells Ahab that God is going to take away all those that pisseth against the wall. Okay, the King James Version. That pisseth, cut off from Ahab, him that pisseth against the wall. I'll wipe out your descendants, just as I did Jeroboam and Nebat. And Jeroboam and Nebat are previous evil kings of Israel. Also, Jezebel will be eaten by dogs. Him that died in the city, the dogs will eat. Him that died in the field, the birds will eat. And it says here there was never anyone like Ahab who sold himself to do evil in the eyes. So he was doing evil, and it was mainly because of Jezebel, which I understand her being blamed because this scenario was her plan. But do we see how she's misportrayed as some sort of person that uses sexuality? She's not even mentioned as being beautiful the same way Abishag, David's companion, was, or Bathsheba, David's wife, or just any of those women. Sarah, she's not mentioned as being beautiful. But yet, for some reason in Christianity, we always refer to a woman who is improperly dressed or carrying a certain type of, you know, calling women having a Jezebel spirit, when Jezebel was just a cunning woman who was evil, but she was no seductress. Just took me all these years of being in church, and I had to read this on my own again to find out this information. So Ahab hears Elijah's prophecy, tears his clothes, and this is a like a ritual for mourning. Then the word of the Lord comes to Elijah, telling him he's not going to bring destruction to Ahab, but to Ahab's offspring because he's humbled from listening to what God said. I hope you decide to read.